Hello guys, this is LaShonda with Gardening with the Country Girl. I do apologize, but when I was actually recording this, I was using a portable mic and I did not have it turned to the correct place. So unfortunately the direct audio from this, you can't hear, so you'll see my lips moving, but the audio was all jacked up. I was lucky I was even able to salvage the video. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to show you guys my tower garden. I just want to make it very clear that I absolutely love this tower garden, and you can get one. You can get a tower garden if you go to my page, www.lashondastevens.towergarden.com. LASHANDA.STEPHENS at TOWERGARDEN.com. Also, you can go to my Juice Plus website. Basically, Juice Plus is the company that owns these tower gardens. So you can go to my Juice Plus page at www.lashondastevens.juiceplus.com. And that way you can get any of the products offered for a healthier living, as well as get you one of these tower gardens. So basically the frost got a hold of my tower garden. Now I'm on the third floor and my tower garden is out on this patio. It's a pretty large size patio. We get sun exposure. It's a southern exposure, so I greatly enjoy this. And I think someone had joined the live so you could hear me, or you could see me actually talking and wanting someone to post who they were on this. I was going live from my laptop, and I know at least one person joined the live. Unfortunately, because of the audio, it sounded really weird. It's a loud hum, and so that's probably what made the person get off of my live. So again, I do apologize that I'm having to do this voiceover, that I'm having to redo this in order to share this content. This was a live that I did on Facebook, and so I just want to get up and show you guys. All right, so here you get a better glance at the tower garden. It has these tentacles for the light fixture. This is the light unit, and the pods, like the little black spots in there, is where you insert some pods, and those pods contain the rock wool pods, and you would just put seeds in those and let the plant grow. Oh, I went to put my shoes on. So I was putting my shoes on because the cement on this patio was cold. All right, and see there I have the portable mic clipped onto my shirt, but I didn't have it switched to the right dial. All right, so I'm giving you a better view here. Okay, you're getting a better view of the patio. Some of this I can't help as far as the whiteout of it because there's a southern exposure. I got the lights going, trying to make sure make the video look better, but I probably should have set it up on the other side so that you could see the tower garden better. But what you'll see once I get done, and actually in my video that I posted after this, after I discovered that the audio wasn't working on the live, I show you an up close view of this tower garden once I take all of these off. I'm texting my daughter because it was almost time for me to go pick her up, so I was trying to do a quick little live before I go pick her up from school. Alright, so just send her a quick little text message. Alright, so just keep checking to see if you guys could see me and see the tower garden. I picked up the laptop so you can get a better view. All right. So as you can see, looking at the tower garden, you see that there are some plants that are dead. They're basically like orangey, yellowish, and it's very obvious that they are dead. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually trying to gather up all of the limbs for one of these tomato plants. I believe this is my black brandywine tomato plant, and it has lots of tentacles, lots of branches, limbs, so I'm having to grab it all. I'm actually very surprised at the fact that this grew as big as it did. These branches are huge, and I'm definitely going to grow it again. I think the next time that I grow it, I'm actually going to put these tomato plants on the bottom so that they actually are able to grow up. These tomato plants took over a large portion of my tower garden. My dream is actually to have several of these tower gardens, maybe at least 4. That way I can put tomatoes on one, herbs on another, cucumbers and some other melons on another one, and maybe some cabbage and collard greens on some others. All right. Okay. So I'm actually, this is one of the tomatoes that's on this plant. So I pulled it off, and I'm showing you it has some cat facing on it. See the hole in the middle of it? But it was getting ready to be a pretty huge tomato. All right. All right, so I'm continuing to gather up all of the limbs for that one so I can try to pull this out of the tower garden. There goes another limb. And the thing about the tower garden is all of these limbs for all of the different plants, you can put a pod in each, a rock wool pod in each of the holes in the tower garden. And so you can grow plants in all of these. And I think I even got the extended version. But once the plants start growing and they really get to be a large size, all of these plants start to get tangled up in each other. And it was really like a jungle. I have some pictures of what it used to look like. Definitely go back and look at some of my older pictures and older videos, and you'll see. I'm trying to lift this out here, but it's really stuck, and all I can say is probably the root system connected either to some of the other pods or some of the innards of this tower garden. I could not pull it out. So what I ended up deciding to do is just I really tried to, and I really did try with all of my might to pull it off. So I just started pulling the limbs off. See, and I'm throwing it over my balcony because there's some mulch outside of this patio, so they're just compost in place. I have no qualms about just throwing my limbs down there. Okay, so there's some more. Just pulling them off limb by limb, limb by limb. I left a pretty sturdy piece on there so that when I do go and try to figure out how to get that last piece off, I'll have a good handle to pull from. I'm trying to readjust this portable mic, not even realizing that it wasn't even turned on the right way in the beginning. Pulling off more of this black brandywine tomato plant. Yep, tried to pull it and it still would not come. So I just decided, instead of tearing up my whole tower garden, I just said, let me just make sure I take all the big pieces off or the extra pieces, and I'll just leave a stem, a single branch on there, and I can get my husband, or I can try to figure it out later. Probably what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to take off a portion of that in order to pull out those stems, pull out those roots, I mean. All right, so I move on to the next one. This next plant is actually another tomato plant. I put several tomato plants on here. This one here is the large red cherry tomato plant. I didn't anticipate that the tomato plants would grow as big and as large as they actually are, but I'm having to do the same thing because I couldn't pull these out as well. Now you'll see that I had some of the limbs of this large red cherry tomato plant actually trellising on my balcony rails, and on that grew these guys right here. One of them just dropped, but that's what these large red cherry tomatoes look like. Now they're not finished growing, so there's nothing really I can do with them, but I'm going to show you, the little haul later. That's another one. That's the one that just fell. So I'm just taking off the limbs, limb by limb, pull it off, and I'm just going to chunk it over the balcony so they can compost in place in the mulch that is near my apartment. Got that one. Alright, so I'm just making sure. I'm looking because there was a car parked outside of right below my patio, so I don't know why they were standing there. I don't know if they were waiting on children or stalking children, but I got my eye on them. I always keep my wits about me. I should have probably taken a picture of the car so I can find out who it was later. Alright, so anyway, I got the large red cherry tomato plant limbs pulled. I've already got the black Brandywine tomato. Now I'm moving on to the San Marzano tomato plant. Okay, and just chunking them over there. Here's the San Marzano. I didn't see any fruit come on the San Marzano. I had already removed the cucumber and the basil plant. Once they died, I pulled those guys already out. Okay, pulling limbs off of the San Marzano. It grew pretty big. I'm going to have to figure out how to get those roots out there. They're pretty tough in there. Because what really happens is this is a hydroaeroponics system. So basically it works on air and water. Basically you have the timer going on and off. So it turns on by itself, turns off by itself. I didn't have the timer set. I would just unplug it. Unplug the lights. I would, turn it off on occasion. But once the plants got bigger, I noticed that it wasn't a good thing to turn them off for long periods of time because the plants would look weary. I remember several days coming home after the water system had not been on all day and the plants were like very, very droopy. Luckily, once I let it run for a period of time, the plants perked back up, which is a really, really great thing. So I'm grateful about that. So basically what happens is when I adjust the camera angle, you're going to see there's like a water collection. Basically the tank of this tower garden holds about 13 gallons, and you just pour water in there and it basically cycles the water all throughout, and you can actually see the water dripping in through those holes. So yeah, almost done here. I basically pulled off 3 tomato plants. I pulled off the black Brandywine tomato, the large red cherry, and then the San Marzano. And that was my alarm telling me that it's time to go pick up my kid. Alright, so I'm going to turn the tower garden around. What I love about these lights is that they are very movable and extendable and adjustable. So I just moved it right on out of the way. But now I'm going to show you what the tower garden looks like, what actually is left over. Keep in mind when you're gardening, there are warm weather plants and there are cool weather plants. What is left on here is mostly cool weather plants, right? So I'm going to adjust the camera angle so you can see it better. But here's a look at the fruit that I got off of here. These are the tomatoes, the large red cherry tomatoes and that black Brandywine tomato that started to form on there. I think the birds may have picked off some of those other ones that I had in there. Some other fruit that started to form on there. Alright, so here I am picking off some of the leaves off of the pink celery because they look yellowish. Alright, and here is my pepper plant. Now, peppers are actually a warm weather plant, and I'm very surprised that it's still living, but I'm going to bring this around a little bit better. And I have one at the top that I was just touching, and then I have another pepper plant right below it, and then my Black Magic Kale is next to it. So see, there's like 7 peppers that are on this tower garden, and they're pretty huge. I wish I had pulled the laptop a little bit closer so you can see them. Alright, now I've adjusted the angle of the camera. So this right here, I'm still pulling off some of the yellow leaves for that pink celery. But this right here that I'm holding up, these are actually the peppers. Yep, good job, Shonda, holding them up to the camera. Pulling off any of the dead leaves. There's my Black Magic Kale. It's doing fine. Black Magic Kale, or kale in general, is a cool weather plant, so it's fine. Alright, and then here's the pink celery. This is the pink celery. I just was pointing at it, and it's doing well. Just pulling off another one of those yellow leaves on the pink celery. I think once now that I've moved the majority of the jungle, the dead jungle, now I can actually go. So what I'm pointing at now is parsley. That's my parsley plant. So what I have left is pink celery, parsley, and then I have the 2 pepper plants and my Black Magic Kale. Pink celery, parsley, Black Magic Kale, and those 2 pepper plants that are left on the tower garden. What I'm going to probably do is plant some cabbage, collards, and some more lettuces since it's cool weather. Those are cool weather plants. Make sure that what I'm saying is make sure that you check out my links in the description of this video. LaShondaStevens.towergarden.com, LaShondaStevens.juiceplus.com. And I'm headed to go pick up my kid. Bye.